I was crippled a lot of times because I was thinking about the two avatars going back and forth. And you can do it. Somebody can do it well. I could not. And so now I have so much freedom. I can't tell you how much freedom I have with both accounts. And I'm not on Instagram all the time.
Welcome to Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. Growing awareness for your blog, podcast, book, or product involves more than dancing to reels and yelling, "Buy my thing." This show models quality over clamor so you can put your spin on your message and market in a way that feels authentic to you, because nobody wants to sound like an infomercial. And now, here's your host, Ruthie Gray.
Welcome back, y'all, to the second part of this two-part series with my podcast coach, Ren Robbins, who also happens to be a client of mine and is in my Instagram membership. She is sharing the last two steps for how to grow your audience to over 100 in 15 days. The first part was last week, and she shared the first 4 steps. So this week is the last 2 steps, and you are going to be amazed at how she delivers so much value. Be sure to check her out at Ren Robbins Coach on Instagram. I call her the Reels Queen. She's actually I have several in my membership that are Reels proficient. And so with that said, I want you to know that my intensive, the doors are opening very soon. If you're listening in July or August, the doors are opening soon. So get on my email list, get in my free Facebook group, Authentic Instagram Engagement, so that you can be in the know for when those doors open, because this is the training that Ren used to start a new account and get it off the ground so quickly. And by the way, by this taping, she has reached well over 200 followers. So she used the exact lessons and trainings that I gave her to use a targeted strategy to build her audience on her podcast coaching account. So my intensive, just for a little overview, it's a content marketing deep dive while leveraging community to grow your platform. It starts September 6th. And this one goes for 8 weeks, from crafting a killer bio that attracts your target audience to marketing your product, to gaining momentum, gaining exposure, and skyrocketing engagement. This interactive class with weekly hot seats and Zoom trainings will get you to that next level. It's high-level coaching. It's not for beginners. By the way, if you're a beginner, I have a beginner course, Authentic Instagram Engagement. It'll be in the show notes. But this is for women who've been on the platform a while, understand the basics, and just aren't getting the traction they need to grow their audience and attract those followers they so need for marketing their book, blog, podcast, or product. You see, it's more than just Instagram. It's feedback for the additional parts like email opt-ins and link in bios, newsletters, softwares to tie it all together. It's everything. And a community. Keep it in mind and be watching. And now, listen in.
Okay, number 5, I offer value. From going from 0 to 100 in 15 days, you have to offer value. Yes, it's fun to do some of the fun reels. At that point, I was kind of like, not doing, they were fun reels, but they were like with what my business is about. Like I didn't do the dog one. I did the dog one later. You know what I mean? But you have to offer value for people to follow you. You do. That's just all there is to it. Yes. And then it's shareable when it's valuable, or people are going to comment. If it's valuable, they're going to save it. They're going to like it and they're going to comment. So that's that. It sounds so simple, but it really is. It's just find your niche, whatever your niche is, then double down on it and offer value.
Yeah.
Offer a tip.
Those little golden nuggets, those tidbits that everybody's wondering about. You can just do like just one even. Mm-hmm. But that makes all the difference.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6, you ready?
Yeah.
I've gone through this fast, but let's do this. Okay. Number 6, I asked interactive questions. And this is something you teach. I asked interactive questions. When we talked about podcast coaching, I always told you, always have a call to action in your podcast episodes. You want someone to do something after listening to the content, all the awesome value that you offer. You want them to take that and do something about it. Like follow me on Instagram or tag me and DM me. You can talk about email it. Yeah, here's my free download in the show notes. You are telling them something to do. It's the same thing with Instagram that you teach us, a call to action. It might just be like, heart this, give me an emoji, or it might be save, or it might be share, or it might be go get my download, or go listen to the podcast, or swipe in the carousels. It could be any of those things. But what I did is I asked interactive questions. And you know why we don't do it, Ruthie? This is why I used to not do it, because I was scared nobody was going to answer. And if not, it's okay. It's okay if nobody answers at first. Or you know what you do? You text your biz bestie and be like, hey, can you answer this question for me real quick? Nobody's answering. I just need one person to say something. But here's the thing. You get used to it and people will do it. Like you're like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. So asking interactive questions is huge, and it encourages people to be social, because that's what social media is all about. You've said that for years. We need to be social. And so that's a way I ask interactive questions. So that's how I got from 0 to 100 in 15 days. I did all 6 of those. And y'all, I have a son. We are in the midst of, we had to get our house ready to sell. So it's not like I had tons of time, like I really didn't spend a lot of time on this. And I had clients. I had all this in May was crazy. It was, and I think I started in April. I think it was the end of April. So it's like, Ren, this is the worst timing ever. But here's the thing. If you do these, not even all 6, if you just do the bulk of these, you're going to grow no matter what. And then, definitely have fun. And then after I got to 100 followers, that's when I kind of said, okay, Ren, now let's pull back and let's get more strategic. And then now let's do it. What's going to work for you in your life, not every day posting.
Yes, which brings me, I love all 6 of those, and we will have those in the show notes, by the way. But now that brings me to the next question, which is, have you gotten leads from this new account?
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. Yes, I've gotten more followers, I've gotten leads, and I've gotten people that are following. And they're following and they're following. And they're thinking about a podcast. And I know that they're thinking about a podcast. Mm-hmm. They know they're thinking about a podcast. People that I didn't even know were thinking about a podcast have let me know I'm thinking about a podcast. And I'm like, okay. So if you just continue offer value, the leads are going to come. The people that you need are going to come. And the thing is I always just try to offer those free tips, because Instagram is where you're going to pull them in. It's kind of like the top of your funnel. And then they're going to go to your email list. They're going to go get on your website and check you out a little bit more because of your bio, because of the things that you teach, Ruthie. So yeah, I've gotten leads that I was not expecting. It's exciting because it's a social game, but it is like the most fun thing ever. I would do it even if I didn't have clients come through it, or leads. I just like it. And it's like, I'm going to offer this to you no matter what, if you're a client of mine or if you're not, or if you're I just want you to get your message out. Get your message out. Don't stay stuck on 0. 0 is not good. And I'm saying that to myself because I stay on 0 a lot. And so we gotta get off 0.
We have to get off 0. And really, we have to continually remember that our Instagram account is about our ideal audience member and not about us. And so we do continue to deliver that value. And don't be afraid of giving too much away. You can't give too much away. Somebody can Google, okay? People can Google Instagram. People can Google how to market on Instagram or how to create a podcast. But what they can't do is get that personal one-on-one coaching with Ren Robbins just by following Instagram. They don't get their personal one-on-one strategy. And same with me. I do the intensive, I do one-on-one coaching, and people need that one-on-one strategy that they won't get anywhere else. So, but they learn your teaching techniques by following your account.
Absolutely.
And
the sky's the limit. I just see so many things open up for me in what we discussed of doing those things. And it's exciting. It's a neat time to be an online entrepreneur. I'll tell you that.
It is for sure. I agree. So do you think it's easier to grow an Instagram platform that's super niche? I think I know the answer to this.
Yes, it is absolutely. Yes.
So you would recommend this pivot to someone who's struggling, like to juggle. Maybe they have too many things that they are trying to get out or two different messages.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tried to do it that way. And I'm just the type of person that couldn't, but absolutely. And here's the thing, it's to free yourself up. Like I have been freed up that I am not, when I'm about to post or plan for Instagram, I'm not like, oh, okay, what are these people going to think? Because they're for the podcast, but these people are for coaching. No, it is so free. And I can't even tell, like I wrote freedom really big on my notes because there are not enough days in a week for me to post my content. Like it's overflowing. I have so much, like it's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. And this, but I've even had more ideas for my Friends of a Feather Instagram, which I wasn't even thinking that, I was doing this to bump that up. It's now bumping that up. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's just the freedom, and it's just overflows once and you'll know in your gut. If it's a gut thing that you're like, I just really feel this, you got to do it. You just got to do it. Follow your gut, and it'll pay off. It really will. And then try it. If it doesn't work, go back to the other way. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, you could always ditch those 100 and something followers and just say, hey, go back to the first place.
Yeah, just kidding. Well, and here's the thing.
Kidding.
A lot of those were from your membership, Ruthie, because of the community that we have. A lot of those, I mean, I would say at least 20 of those were from the membership and were from the intensive. Because of that community, they're like, yeah, I'm going to follow you. Of course, you offer value. And then others that have come from that account feeding back, you're like, make sure you feed back, Ren, into your new account. And I have, and it's great. And those strategies where you go, the growth week we did in the intensive, I use those at the beginning and to really foster new relationships. And now I'm following somebody else, they're following me, and we are interacting on each other's posts. That's huge. That's just cool,
Yeah. And so that is one mantra that we follow, that I teach inside the intensive. My community marketing framework is community grows opportunity. That's our mantra. And I can see how you've leveraged that to grow your new account. And we can't be an island, can we? We need community to grow.
There is so much statistics that show how we need to be in community. I mean, we know that from 2020 of the mental health that we need to have that community. And the cool thing is that we can be in our own house. I can be in Memphis, Tennessee, and you can be in Florida, and we still have community because of Instagram, because of your membership, because of Zoom, because you hired me as your podcast coach. And that boggles my mind, totally boggles it. And it is, but there's so much evidence to show how community matters. I mean, we can go back to the Word of God. We can go back to the Bible and see He's community, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He wants us. He created us for community. And so that it gets me pumped up because of the community that I've had.
Well, I tell you what, I am so honored. We are honored that you are with us today on this podcast. And it's just been so fun to interact and talk with you. And we could always talk. We can just talk and talk and talk. But anyway, tell the folks how they can connect with you.
Okay. I can be found at Ren Robbins Coach on Instagram, and also on my website at renrobbins.com.
All right. Y'all go connect with her. Follow her on both of those accounts. See what she's doing over there. You're going to be entertained. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be encouraged. And you're going to laugh a lot, and you're going to meet a new friend, because she is a friend of the feather. Wasn't that just so much fun? Ren is such a good friend. She is so personable. She is just, all you have to do is follow her on Instagram to know that she is just loves to have fun, and she loves to help people And that's what we love about Rin. Just to recap, first of all, she has a podcast called Friends of a Feather. So go check that out. Follow her on her Friends of a Feather account and also Rin Robbins Coach. And to wrap up her 6 steps to follower growth in 15 days, I just want to recap. The first thing she did was she posted daily. If you really want to get off the ground and start gaining some traction, especially if you are starting to build your platform or you're building a second account like Rin did, because remember, she was speaking to her original Friends of a Feather podcast, which are moms who need encouragement in growth, parenting, Christian life. And then she was also trying to gain clients for her podcast coaching business. The two didn't jive, and she just felt locked in her brain for how to come up with content. But once she split the 2 accounts, which is a gutsy move because she had really built up that first account, the thoughts flowed more freely. And she said she actually spends less time on Instagram now. I will say, I think it's hard to run more than one account super effectively on Instagram. However, if you know your strategy and you have the tactics to get there, like Rin did from my training and coaching, then it can be done. Let's cover the steps. So first, like I said, she posted daily and she took what she had learned from my coaching and from my intensive and put that to good use. She had developed content categories and she crafted a targeted bio, for instance, among other things. She started planning and she even started posting reels, which, by the way, y'all, reels are hot right now. There's no denying that's where Instagram is headed. So you may want to think about delving into that if you haven't yet. This is something I teach also. She offered value. And honestly, that might be the most important part of all of these 6 steps is offering the value. So many times we want to get our product out there into the hands of the buyers, but you can't do that on Instagram without first establishing trust, especially if you are an entrepreneur seeking to sell maybe your service or your own product or your book or your podcast. So you must offer value and you can't outgive. The way to do this is to drip out little tips of value. I do this all the time on my own account, RuthieGray.mom, teaching Instagram and beyond. And people can Google. They can Google and they're going to find these tips anywhere. However, I am establishing my authority and I want to be known as an authentic Christian mom and entrepreneur who is wanting to mentor others in that same vein, that kind of a culture. And that's who I attract. I attract people just like that, believers who want to further the kingdom of Christ and who also want to market on Instagram. A lot of times believers think marketing is a dirty word, but it is not, especially if you know that's what you're supposed to be doing and you're helping others in the process. The last thing she said to do was to ask interactive questions. And that's something a lot of times we forget and we leave out of our content strategy. We want to get our message out. So we blast it and we tell and we say, and we just it's almost like we shove it down their throats when we're forgetting to listen to our audience and ask. You see, actually, your account is not about you. It's about them. What's in it for them? If your audience doesn't believe that you are offering something that they can use or that's entertaining or educational or inspirational, encouraging, they're going to move on. So you've got to figure out how to meet that need. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I teach this inside my intensive. So be looking for doors to open. Meanwhile, get inside my Facebook group, get a little bit of a taste of what we offer, meet some of my members, and see if maybe it's for you. We will be putting information out more and more, dripping it out in the next few weeks as to what is involved. Right off the bat, you're going to get some sweet bonuses and trainings. So keep your eyes peeled. Get on my newsletter list. If you go to my blog at RuthieGray.mom, you can sign up for your free Instagram caption blueprint, and that will put you on my newsletter. So either way, you have all kinds of ways to get in touch with me and to see and experience my training, just like Ren did. And now she's off and running. You can do this too. Thanks so much for watching and supporting and entering in and letting me know that you've been listening to Authentic Online Marketing with Ruthie Gray. Stay tuned for next week. See you soon.